guys, it's Alicia Rain and welcome back to my channel, Rainy Reads. Today is a very exciting announcement video, and that is that I am doing my own readathon. Now, this was not something I had planned for a while, honestly. This is something I decided very last minute that I wanted to do, but I'm pretty proud with what I ended up accomplishing with all my templates and stuff, so let's just get into this video. So the name I decided on was the Falling for Autumn Readathon because I just love the fall time and I wanted to put a bingo board template together that, yes, had reading prompts, but also had things related to the fall time outside of reading, which I will get into here in just a minute. Just some quick important information to know before I get into showing you guys all the templates and things like that. All of this is going to be hosted over on my Discord server, which is linked down below in the description. I will have a whole separate channel on there for the readathon. This readathon will be from September 12th all the way through October 26th. And September 12th is a Friday, I believe, and October 26th is a Sunday. Now, some of you may be thinking, that's a pretty long time for a readathon. I've seen some people do about a month. Mine's about 6 or 7 weeks, I think, when I counted it. And the reason why I decided to have my readathon be on the longer side is because I wanted as many people to participate as possible. Part of that is just timing and schedules. Not everyone has a pretty open schedule, and I feel like for people that do readathons on a weekend or even just a whole week, I feel like a lot of people don't have the time to really participate. And I enjoy those readathons, but like I said, I want this to be fun, but also casual and like tailored to an individual person. And I also know that not everyone reads at a very fast pace. And on my bingo card, I used a traditional bingo card. So with there being other things outside of reading, I still have 12 reading prompts. So that's a lot of reading. And I know even in a 6-week period, some people might not even be able to read 12 books. So another important thing to know is for the reading part of this readathon, you can triple up prompts. I know some people only let you double up prompts, or you can't like stack prompts in any way. I'm doing the rule that you can triple up prompts for a single book. So that means if there's 12 reading prompts, you could read anywhere from 4 to 12 books during this readathon. So yeah, those are the main things to know before I jump into it. So let's jump into it. If you see me looking over here, it's because I have it pulled up on my computer, but I am going to put pictures here on the screen so you can look and read along with me as I go through everything. And all of these will be posted on a Instagram story highlight, or again on my Discord server. If you decide to join and follow along, you will have access to everything that I'm talking about here. So first, let's look at this bingo card here. There is a lot going on, but I'm very proud with how this turned out. If anyone's curious, I whipped this together on Canva, the free version. So you can do a lot on Canva. This is not sponsored. That'd be really cool. But I know some people might be curious. So all the templates that you see today, again, was made on Canva. So if you look closely, you will see a lot of different creatures on here. Those are going to be our reading prompts. Then we have some coffins, autumn leaves, and candy apples, which I will get into. Those are all of our other little prompts and challenges. And then in the middle, like a traditional bingo board, we have a free space. So let's go over the activity prompts first. I do have a template explaining what these are in case anyone forgets. So first up, we have our candy apples. Those are the treat yourself prompts. And these challenges aren't very specific. They're, again, pretty loose, so people can tailor it to themselves and personalize it. Underneath, I wrote, whether it be a sweet treat or going out to get your hair done, take time to show yourself some love. You could do something as simple as buy your favorite candy, and that can count for one of them. Or, like I said, you could make a whole spa day, and that could be a treat yourself. But I have 4 of them. So you have to do something like that 4 times during the course of this readathon. I just think it's important for people to set aside time for themselves show some appreciation and self-love. I am not the best with that. I am definitely like a workaholic, go, go, go person. I find it very difficult for some reason to just slow down and exist. So honestly, for those workaholics out there, taking a nap could count as this. I'm gonna say that because sometimes people just need a rest. So yeah, like I said, nothing specific for the candy apples. You can decide what you want. It doesn't have to be fall themed. You don't have to go get like a fall drink as a treat. You could if you want, but those ones are pretty open to interpretation. Then we have our autumn leaves. I have 4 of these as well. Again, nothing super specific, but because this is the Falling for Autumn readathon, part of me picked that title for the sense that I want people to fall in love with autumn. So it was like a play on words there. And this one is motivating people to go out and do fall activities. And on this key template, I wrote, get cider and donuts, pick some apples, carve a pumpkin, or go to a haunted corn maze. Whatever you consider a fall activity, do it. Now, I know some people are homebodies and they might not want to go out that much, so if there's something you do at home that you consider a fall activity, that can count. I know you can watch spooky movies year-round, but if that's something that you save for the fall time specifically, watching spooky movies or scary movies, and you just have a little like movie night or marathon, you can count that as one of your fall activities. Some people do arts and crafts. Like I know a lot of people crochet during the colder months. If that's something that you consider a fall activity, or you're working on like a fall craft, that can count as well. So you don't have to go out and get cider and donuts or carve a pumpkin, but I challenge and motivate you to do that because I do want that to be a part of this whole readathon experience, is appreciating what the fall time has to offer. So just try and go out there and do stuff that you might not be able to do other times of the year. Then we have the coffins, which are the photo or social media prompts. These ones are also numbered, and these actually do have number correlations to them. So if you look here, the first one is to post a picture of your TBR, and I will put the template I made right here for your TBR. I have a spot for you to put the book cover and then a little like text bubble underneath for you to put what prompt or prompts you decided to use for that. And if you end up reading more than 6, you can just reuse this and use it as like a second page to your TBR. The second coffin prompt is to post a picture of your autumn leaf prompts. Now, I did a few different things for this. I made individual square posts that you can use that actually say autumn leaf 1, 2, and 3, and 4 at the top, or I made one that has spots for all 4. And in each of those, there's another little bubble underneath so you can say what the fall activity was that you did. And coffin prompt number 3 is to do the same thing with your candy apple prompts. And again, I made individual squares for those, or you can put all 4 of them in one square if that's what you want to do. And then the fourth and final coffin prompt is to post your wrap up. And again, made a template for that. That one's slightly different because those ones have a second text bubble underneath. For those of you that like to rate your books, you can put your star rating on there. And there's a very small note because I had to fit it on these templates. But if you decide to post things on social media and not just in the Discord server, you can use this hashtag, which I did look it up and I didn't see anyone using it. So I'm not like copying off of someone if it is out there. I genuinely looked on Instagram and YouTube. I didn't see a Falling for Autumn readathon. There was no hashtag. So if you do, again, decide to post on social media, use the hashtag Falling for Autumn readathon 25 and tag me at Rainy Reads so I can see it. I'm at Rainy Reads on all social platforms. I have all of my links down below in the description anyways if you want to follow me over there or just see what my handles are. I have a YouTube channel, as you know, you're watching it right now. And I also have a Bookstagram and a Book Talk. I just started posting over on TikTok. So whether you post on YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok, you should be able to tag me in any of them. So those were all of the prompts or activities outside of reading. Now let's get into what most of you are probably here for, and that is the reading prompts. So I'm going to put a picture on here with the key that I made for all of the reading prompts on our bingo board. and I'm just gonna start reading through it. So for the reading prompts, I decided to try and base my prompts off of different creatures, and honestly, I'm not trying to toot my own horn or anything, but I think I did a pretty good job. So the first prompt I'm going to talk about is the vampire prompt, and that is to read a book with a gothic setting or vibe. Then we have the witch, and that is to read a book with magic or supernatural elements. Next is the mummy, and that is to read a book that's been on your TBR for at least 3 years. Now, I am not one of these people, but I do know that they exist. And that is people that are very good at reading books as quick as they buy them. I am not like that. I have books on my TBR that are there for like 8 years. So if you're someone that doesn't have any books for at least 3 years, you can just pick a book that you've had the longest. But I guess I should have said this in the beginning. The main goal is to read spooky books. Now, I don't mind if people don't read spooky books. A lot of these are kind of tailored for that. As long as you're reading just like a book you've had for a while, that'll count for this one. Next is the ghost prompt, and that is to read a horror or thriller book. Then we have the siren, and that is to listen to an audiobook in its entirety. Like, I want you to fully listen to the audiobook. I don't really want to say that you can tandem read. No, I will say that. You can read along while you listen, but really, I'm just aiming for people to listen and not read along. But I know it's kind of hard for people to focus, and I always usually read along if I have the physical book. It helps me not be distracted by surroundings. So I'll say you can read along as you're listening to it as you read, because that's the whole point of the siren, you know? They have the alluring song that like entice the sailors. So that's what I was going with for that one. Next is the clown, and that is to read a paranormal rom-com. As long as there's some like paranormal creature, supernatural creature, and it happens to be a romantic comedy, that can count. Then we have the zombie, and that is to give a book a second chance at life, which basically means to pick up a book you DNF'd. Now, you could really challenge yourself and do a book that you straight up DNF'd, like you didn't really like it, or you can do a book that you soft DNF'd. And if you don't know the difference between the two, sometimes people classify something as a soft DNF, and that means it's a book that they put down, but they intend to go back to it anyways. So either one of those like reasonings behind a DNF could work for this one. Then we have the werewolf, and that is to read a book with a moon on the cover. It can be any moon phase besides like a new moon, unless it's like very obvious that it's a new moon, because usually you can't see those. But I know there's some books where it's like a night sky, but it's like a ring to represent a new moon. So if it's something like that, that'll count. But try and go for like a full moon, a crescent moon, or a half moon, something like that. Then there's the Hydra prompt, which is to read a book with dual or multiple POV. Next is the fairy, and that is to read a book that's under 250 pages. And then we have Banshee, which is to read a book that scares you. Now, this one can be pretty open to interpretation. This would be a good one to pair with the ghost prompt, which is to read a horror or thriller book. That could be something that scares you, reading a scary book. A length of a book could be something that scares you technically, or even like reviews that you've heard about a book could count towards this. It could either be you bought this book and you started seeing a lot of negative reviews and it's been like putting you off from reading it, or it could be the complete opposite end of the spectrum and it got really hyped up with really good reviews, and that could be scaring you from reading it because you don't know if it'll live up to the hype. So there's a lot of different ways you can bend that prompt. And then the last prompt is the skeleton, and that's to read a book that involves a death in some way. So this could be bent because I know that death could be a triggering topic for some people, and I don't want that to be like a reason why someone doesn't want to do this readathon, because they would have to do that prompt to try and get a bingo or clear the board or something. Even if it actually involves a death, it doesn't have to be the main plot point of a book. But if that is something you're trying to avoid in a book, you could even do this as like a death of like an old life or something like that. So if you want to read more of like a contemporary book, or just a book where like someone has to move or start over and like there's like a death of like self or like an old life, like I just said, and they have to like move on and try and do something new. They're in a new environment. You could bend this one for that. So yeah, that one's a little open for interpretation. I think that's everything. Let me quickly scroll through all of my templates and make sure I'm not missing anything. Even though I kind of touched base on this, there's only one thing that I'll mention. The only rule that I really have for this readathon is the tripling up on reading prompts and not doing 4 or more. This isn't a point-based readathon. I'm only one gal. I cannot keep track of everyone's points. Maybe in the future, if I decide to keep doing this every year, which could be really fun, maybe with more people and possibly some moderators in the Discord helping me, I could try and spin this in a way where you can earn points. But since it's a bingo card, you can go about this readathon in a few different ways. You can pick specific prompts on the bingo card to try and get bingos. You can try to clear the whole board, which is what I'll be doing. Or you could even just do the reading prompts. You don't even have to do the other things, even though I would really love for people to do that, because again, that kind of went into the meaning of the whole name. Falling for autumn, doing the fall activities, but I'm not going to be that picky. Like I said, I want this to be fun, but also casual and not like stress people out with having a short time frame. And I know the main challenge for a readathon is to read a lot, but also again, people have really busy schedules, especially people that work full time. I work full time. I fit almost everything into my weekends. So I personally don't even know if I'll be able to clear the whole board, but I just want to have a fun time. And yeah, I'm just really excited to do this. I think it'll be really fun. I have no idea how many people are going to join. I think I only know of 2 people so far that are joining, which is completely okay. I am doing this on my book club's Discord server. I do have a very small book club going right now, which is going to be on hold for this readathon because I want people to be able to read what they want for it. But if that's something that interests you, I have a Fable as well for the book club. But again, know that it's on hold until at least November. Again, all of my links will be linked down below. My Discord server, where all of this is going to be hosted on, is down there. I will have different channels and categories for the readathon and different things. If you don't post on social media, I will have a specific section in there for you to do your candy apple and autumn leaf prompts, so you don't need to worry about that. And if you do decide to post on social media, definitely tag me so I can see it, and use the hashtag Falling for Autumn Readathon 25. I hope I'm not forgetting anything. I hope to see you guys over there. It's going to be really fun. I'm going to do weekly check-ins. I'm sure I'll message throughout the whole week, but I'll always make sure to touch base with everyone every Sunday, I think, is what I'm going to do. If you have any questions, you can ask me in the comments of this video or go over to my Discord server and I'll try to explain anything that might be confusing to some people. And real quick, I do plan to do reading vlogs for this readathon, so stay tuned for that. I have no idea how many parts I'm going to do. I'm thinking I might do a 2-part reading vlog readathon series, but we'll see how that goes. I hope you guys are doing well whenever you're watching this, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!